She burst through the door at 6:47 p.m., waving the ultrasound picture like a winning lottery ticket. "Jason! Jason, look!" I was at the kitchen table, halfway through reheating leftover Chinese food. The same table where we'd eaten the 1,000 meals, where we'd planned our future, where 3 months ago I'd sat alone reading the vasectomy confirmation letter from my doctor. "I'm pregnant!" Her voice cracked with emotion. "With twins!" She thrust the ultrasound image toward me. 2 small shapes, side by side, grainy and surreal. I looked at the picture, then at her glowing face, then back at the picture, and I smiled. "Congratulations," I said calmly. "Who's the father?" The room went silent. Her smile froze like someone hit pause on her face. What did you just say?" I set down my fork, folded my hands, kept my voice steady. "I asked who the father is, because it's definitely not me." Her face went from confusion to pale white in about 2 seconds. "Jason, that's not funny." I pulled a folded paper from my pocket, the medical document I'd been carrying for 3 months, waiting for this exact moment. "Post-vasectomy analysis," I read aloud. "Sperm count, 0. Patient is sterile. Date, February 14th. I looked up. "Valentine's Day, remember? You were at that team-building retreat in Scottsdale." Her hands started shaking. The ultrasound picture slipped from her fingers and floated to the floor like a confession. "So again," I said, voice still calm, "congratulations on the twins, but we need to talk about who's going to be paying child support. If you want to know how a man stays cool when his world explodes, hit subscribe, because what I did next made her realize she'd been playing chess with someone who was 10 moves ahead. My name is Jason Mitchell. I'm 38 years old, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm a software engineer. I work from home 3 days a week, which means I see a lot of what happens in my house, maybe more than most husbands. For the last 7 years, I've been married to Nicole. She's a marketing director for a tech startup downtown. Smart, ambitious, beautiful. We met at a conference in 2016. She was giving a presentation on digital strategy. I was in the back row, half paying attention, until she made a joke about JavaScript that actually landed. After her talk, I introduced myself. We got coffee, then dinner, then 3 years of dating that felt easy and right. We got married in 2018. Small ceremony, close friends, a honeymoon in Costa Rica where we zip-lined through rainforests and promised each other forever. For a while, forever felt real. We'd always talked about kids. Someday, we'd say, when we're ready. But 2 years ago, something shifted. Nicole got promoted. Bigger title, bigger salary, bigger demands on her time. "I'm not ready yet," she said one night when I brought up the kid conversation. "I'm finally where I want to be career-wise. A baby would derail everything." "Okay," I said, "we can wait. What about you? Do you want kids right now?"
I thought about it, honestly thought about it. "I want them eventually," I said, "but I want them with someone who wants them too. So yeah, we can wait." She smiled, kissed me. "Thank you for understanding." 6 months later, she brought it up again. "I've been thinking," she said, "what if we just don't?" "Don't what?" "Have kids. What if we just stay like this, focus on our careers, travel, enjoy our lives without the chaos of children?" I didn't answer right away. She kept going. "I see my friends with kids. They're exhausted, broke. Their marriages are falling apart. I don't want that for us." "So you're saying never?" "I'm saying I don't think I'm meant to be a mother." That hurt more than I expected, not because I was desperate for kids, but because it felt like she was closing a door I thought we'd walk through together. "Okay," I said finally, "if that's how you feel." "You're not mad?" "No, just processing." She hugged me. "I love you. I just want us to be happy." "Me too." But something changed after that conversation. A small distance opened up between us. Not obvious, just there. 3 months later, Nicole came home with a proposal. "I've been thinking about your side of this," she said. "If we're not having kids, maybe you should get a vasectomy." I looked up from my laptop. "What?" "It makes sense, right? I've been on birth control for years. It's messing with my hormones. If we're sure we don't want kids, you could just take care of it." "You want me to get a vasectomy?" "It's a simple procedure. Outpatient, you'd be back to normal in a week." I stared at her. "This feels sudden." "It's not sudden. We've been talking about this for months." "We talked about maybe not having kids. Now you want me to make it permanent?" She sighed. "Jason, I'm trying to find a solution that works for both of us. I'm tired of hormones. You said you were okay with not having kids. This just makes it official." I didn't like it, but I also didn't want to be the guy who forced his wife to stay on birth control she hated. "Let me think about it," I said. "Okay, just don't take too long." I thought about it for 2 weeks, and the more I thought, the more something felt off. Why was she pushing this so hard? Why now? I started paying attention, really paying attention. Late nights at the office, client dinners that ran until midnight, a new password on her phone. One night I asked casually, "Who's the new guy on your team?" She looked up, surprised. "What guy?" "You mentioned someone new at work." "Oh, Ryan, he's a junior account manager." "Why?" "Just curious." She went back to her phone, but I saw the way her jaw tightened. Ryan. I filed that name away. A week later, I scheduled the vasectomy, not because I wanted one, because I needed to know. If Nicole was cheating, and my gut said she was, a vasectomy would be the ultimate test. If she got pregnant after I was sterile, I'd have my answer.
So I booked the appointment, told Nicole. She seemed relieved. "Thank you," she said. "I know this wasn't easy." "It's fine," I lied. The procedure was quick, uncomfortable, but quick. 2 weeks later, I went back for the follow-up test. Sperm count? 0. I was officially sterile. I took the results, folded them carefully, and put them in my desk drawer. Then I waited. For 3 months, nothing happened. Nicole seemed happier, more relaxed. She stopped talking about birth control. We had sex less frequently, maybe once a week, but when we did, she seemed different, more distant, like she was going through the motions. I didn't push it. I just watched. And then, one Tuesday night, she came home late. "Sorry," she said, dropping her bag by the door. "Client emergency." "No problem. There's leftover pasta in the fridge." She smiled, kissed my cheek, went upstairs to shower. Her phone was on the counter. I shouldn't have looked, I know that, but I did. The screen lit up with a text. "Ryan, tonight was perfect. I can't stop thinking about you." My stomach dropped. I heard the shower running upstairs. I picked up her phone, tried her passcode. It didn't work. She'd changed it. I set the phone down and walked away, but now I knew. I didn't confront her, not yet. Instead, I did what I do best. I gathered data. I installed a GPS tracker on her car, legal in Arizona as long as you own the vehicle. I set up a separate cloud account and started backing up our phone records. I hired a private investigator, a woman named Claire, who looked like a suburban mom but had 20 years of experience catching cheaters. "Give me 2 weeks," Claire said. "I'll know everything." She was right. 10 days later, she sent me a report. Photos of Nicole and Ryan entering a hotel, leaving 3 hours later. Timestamps, dates, a pattern going back 4 months. Every client dinner, every late meeting, every team-building retreat. All lies. Claire's final note was simple. "She's been careful, but not careful enough. You have everything you need." I printed the report, put it in a folder, and waited. The pregnancy announcement came on a Thursday. I was working from home. Nicole had texted earlier, "Coming home early, need to talk." My heart rate kicked up. This was it. She walked in at 6:47 p.m., face glowing, ultrasound picture in hand. Jason, look!" I turned from the kitchen table. "I'm pregnant," she was crying, happy tears, "with twins." She handed me the ultrasound. I looked at it, 2 small shapes, clear as day. And I felt nothing. No joy, no excitement, just cold, clear certainty. "Congratulations," I said. "Who's the father?" Her smile died instantly. "What?" I set the ultrasound on the table, pulled the folded paper from my pocket. Post-vasectomy analysis, sperm count 0, date February 14th. I slid it across the table. "I've been sterile for 3 months, Nicole, so unless this is a medical miracle, those babies aren't mine."
She stared at the paper. Her hands were shaking. "Jason, I don't lie." My voice was calm, steady. "I know about Ryan." Her face went white. "I know about the hotel, the dinners, the Scottsdale retreat. I know everything." She opened her mouth, closed it, tried again. "Jason, how long?" I asked. "What? How long have you been sleeping with him?" Tears started falling. "It's not what you think. How long?" "6 months," she whispered. 6 months. I nodded, did the math. "So, the vasectomy. You pushed me to get it so you could sleep with him without worrying about whose baby it was." She didn't answer. Didn't need to. I continued. "Except you got sloppy. You got pregnant anyway, and you thought you could pass them off as mine." "Jason, please." "Were you ever going to tell me?" "I didn't know they weren't yours." I laughed, actually laughed. "Nicole, I had a vasectomy. You watched me go through it. You knew I was sterile." "I thought maybe it didn't work. Sometimes they don't." "They tested me. 0 sperm. You knew that." She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. I stood up, walked to my office, came back with the folder. I dropped it on the table in front of her. "That's everything. Photos, dates, hotel records, text messages. I've had a PI following you for 2 weeks." She opened the folder. Her sobs got louder. "Here's what's going to happen," I said. "You're going to move out tonight. You're going to call Ryan and tell him he's going to be a father, and you're going to sign whatever divorce papers my lawyer sends you." "Jason, please, we can fix this." "No," I said, "we can't." She tried everything, begging, crying, promising it was a mistake. "I love you," she sobbed. "It was just, he made me feel special, important. You were always working." "I work from home," I interrupted. "I was here every day. You're the one who was never here." "I'm sorry." "You're not sorry you did it. You're sorry you got caught." That shut her up. I pulled out my phone. "You have 2 choices. Pack a bag and leave tonight, or I call Ryan right now and tell him about the twins." Her eyes went wide. "You wouldn't." I started dialing. "Wait." She stood up. Okay, I'll go." "Good choice." She packed a bag, took her essentials, kept crying. At the door, she turned. "What am I supposed to do?" "I don't know," I said, "but it's not my problem anymore." "Jason." "Goodbye, Nicole." I closed the door, locked it, and stood there in the silence of my house, feeling lighter than I had in months. The next morning, I called my lawyer. His name was Tom. We'd gone to college together. He specialized in family law. "Jason," he said when I walked into his office, "I heard. I'm sorry." "Don't be. I need a divorce, fast and clean. Tell me everything." I did. The vasectomy, the affair, the pregnancy, the evidence. Tom listened, taking notes. When I finished, he leaned back. "This is the most open and shut case I've ever seen." "Good. She has no grounds for alimony, no grounds for asset division beyond what's legally required. And if she tries to claim those kids are yours, she won't," I said. "She's not that stupid. Don't underestimate desperation." He was right.
2 days later, Nicole's lawyer called. Her name was Sharon. She had a reputation for being aggressive. "Mr. Mitchell," she said, voice clipped, "I represent Nicole Mitchell. We need to discuss terms." "I'm listening." "My client is willing to agree to a no-fault divorce. She keeps her car, her personal accounts, and requests a one-time settlement of $50,000 to help with the transition." I almost laughed. $50,000? Given the length of the marriage and her condition, it's reasonable. "Her condition," I repeated. "You mean the twins that aren't mine?" Silence. "Ms. Sharon," I said calmly, "your client committed adultery. She got pregnant by another man. She attempted to pass those children off as mine. I have documented evidence of all of it. I'm offering her nothing," I continued. "She gets her personal belongings, her car, and whatever's in her personal accounts. That's it. Mr. Mitchell, I go to court. I present the evidence, and I make sure everyone knows exactly what she did." Another silence. "I'll talk to my client," Sharon said quietly. "You do that." Nicole tried to fight it. She called me, texted me, showed up at the house. "Jason, please, I'm pregnant. I can't afford—" "Call Ryan," I said through the door. "He's the father. He can afford it. He doesn't want—" "Not my problem." She started crying. "I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Please don't do this." "You didn't make a mistake. You made a choice. Multiple choices. For 6 months. I love you." "No, you don't. You love what I provided. Stability, a nice house, someone who didn't ask questions." I opened the door just enough to see her face. "But I'm done being your safety net." I closed the door. She didn't come back. The divorce was finalized in 60 days. Nicole got her car, her clothes, her personal accounts. I kept the house, the savings, the retirement accounts. She didn't fight it, couldn't fight it. The evidence was too strong. On the day the papers were signed, Tom called me. "It's done. Thanks. How are you doing?" "Honestly, better than I expected." "Good. You deserve better than what she gave you." "Yeah, I do." 3 months later, I ran into Nicole at a coffee shop. She was visibly pregnant now. Twins make you show early. She saw me, froze. I nodded, kept walking. "Jason," she called. I stopped, turned. "How are you?" she asked. "Good. You?" She touched her stomach. "Surviving." "And Ryan?" Her face tightened. "He's helping." "Good." Awkward silence. "I'm sorry," she said quietly, "for everything." "I know." "Do you think you'll ever forgive me?" I thought about it, really thought about it. "Maybe," I said, "but not today." I left her standing there.
6 months after the divorce, I met someone new. Her name was Emma. She was a teacher. Funny, kind, honest. We met at a bookstore, both reaching for the same novel. "You have good taste," she said. "So do you." We got coffee, then dinner, then a second date, a third, a 10th. She knew about Nicole. I told her everything. "That must have been hard," she said. "It was, but it taught me something." "What?" "That I'd rather be alone than with someone who doesn't respect me." She smiled. "I respect that." A year later, Emma and I moved in together. Not into the old house. I sold that. Too many memories. We bought a new place, smaller, but ours. One night she asked, "Do you ever think about having kids?" I looked at her. "Do you?" "Maybe, someday, if it's with the right person." "And am I the right person?" She kissed me. "I think you might be." I never saw Nicole again after that coffee shop. I heard through mutual friends that she had the twins, a boy and a girl. Ryan married her. They moved to Tucson. I don't know if they're happy. I don't care, because I learned something through all of this. You can't control what people do to you, but you can control how you respond.
I could have exploded, could have screamed, thrown things, made a scene. Instead, I stayed calm, gathered evidence, protected myself, and when the moment came, I didn't flinch. The vasectomy was the best decision I ever made, not because I didn't want kids, but because it gave me clarity. It showed me who Nicole really was, and it saved me from a lifetime of raising children that weren't mine. Some people called me cold, calculating. Maybe I was, but I'd rather be cold and free than warm and trapped. If this story hit home, comment, "I stayed calm." If you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever had to protect yourself when someone you loved tried to destroy you, this one's for you. Hit subscribe for more stories about the quiet power of staying 10 moves ahead. Because the best revenge isn't losing your cool, it's keeping it when everyone expects you to break, and watching them realize too late that they were never playing in your league.